Good evening, nobody. No viewers. No viewers. Anyway, good evening. Uh, Welcome to Season 2 of the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance, and this is Division 1. The championship that last season was won by Trafford United, managed by Daji. He has gone for a new squad that you probably will be able to notice what it is from the screen. Dimble has joined us on the chat. Good evening. And also, my biggest welcome of the night, sorry Dimble, goes to Jim Phillips from Roundhay, who achieved a promotion last season without finishing in the top three.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I feel a bit like Arsenal in post First World War, where we got promoted to the First Division and Tottenham got relegated. So yeah, more than happy with that.
And who would you consider to be your Tottenham here? Would it be Tato's Badgers, or would it be Dimble's East Coast being relegated and becoming Pelham? Who would be your Spurs in this case?
I think it would satisfy Tato if I likened him to Tottenham to my Arsenal. I think that'll feed into his desires. I think a little bit.
Yes, he's on his. He might not be with us tonight, unfortunately, but he'll be watching at some point. He's away in a tent or something, I think, but a good tent. Anyway, Alf is here. Alf Bridge of Super League fame and of Roma beating fame. He's now here with his Team GB squad looking to take on the world. And designer of our logo, joint with Ian Edwards, doing the work there, is Mike Savage. He's here as well, joining in the chat. So plenty of people.
Good evening, gents.
And David's here. And David, if you want to, because I know Ryan has a go, but I don't want to get it wrong, because I'm like that and I'm picky. Can you give us a pronunciation guide to your surname, David? Because, I could guess it's something like Chavachka, but I might well be wrong, because it might be a Chavachka. I'm not sure. Anyway, you tell us exactly how to say it. I'm probably very, very wrong. And Josh is here. Josh, I should say David's team is the Steel Hawks, who are one of the favourites for the title. And, Josh Lane with his old age ballers who take on Steelhawks, and that is an absolutely massive match for the first game of the season. Two teams that could easily take the title. From having a look at things, Jim, is there anyone who you think is, apart from those two, in with a good shout?
I haven't done a sort of little bit of research. I think my opponents tonight really are going to be strong, because there's only a couple of changes, I believe, from last season, and they absolutely steamrolled their way through the latter part of Division 2 last season.
Form was immense, wasn't it? And they did actually end up in the top three, didn't they, last season? And they're one of the two sides from the top three to have been promoted, as you saw the other day in the Cup.
Well-deserved promotion.
Yeah.
And also, I'm intrigued by the All Tyneside affair. Actually, obviously, an incarnation of Los Heracus now fully Tyneside. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they get on. There's some quality players in that squad.
Oh, yes, indeed, some quality and Warren Barton. So really looking forward to seeing how they get on this season. Dan Hazard's side undertaking what I suppose was the evolution that in the end. We didn't have to get Okoronkwo and Coco in on technicalities. Their squad is entertaining enough as it is. It's David Bonk. It could be. Of course, it could be David as well. And you might be getting that wrong completely. But yeah, Bonk.
And how about yourself, Dan? Who are you looking forward to seeing?
Do you know what? I'm quite intrigued as to who's going to win the battle out of the Falareki 96ers and Team GB this season, because there are some similarities between the squads. It's almost like a bit of a mix of Euro 96 England and Alf's team, which are the mostly sort of based on the World Cup 2002, I would say, but at the same time featuring a few players from other British nations. So that'll be interesting. New concepts from teams. If we just run through the sides very, very quickly, Imaginary Madrid did finish in the bottom three last season, but they've they've gone for their squad is too strong for Division 2, so they're staying up. North Trafford, of course, we mentioned about Dadji's side that won the league last season. Every single player has changed, and it's a completely different outset. He's aiming for 7th and only 7th this season. No other position will be good enough. Loco Calaveras as well, the team that were the 76ers last season, so Los Hughes with his team in there. Falaraki, as we say, have subtracted 3 and gone from 99ers to 96ers. OABs, the old age ballers. I'm going to try and refer to them as the old age ballers, or maybe even the not so old age ballers, as 31 is not old, you cheeky swine.
Exactly. Spring chickens.
Steelhawks, yeah, we'll introduce the Steelhawks tonight, a new side as well. Really, you've mentioned your own side round. Hey, we'll get round to dissecting them in a little bit. Team GB, Alf's side. Dalgety Rangers, who lost the title in Division 2 on the last day to Dublin Blues. Their squad just has a couple of changes. The pensioners. The pensioners, Josh. You're getting too cheeky for this. Then we've got Trumpton, and Big Kids formations are obviously legendary for the experiments he puts in. It's interesting to see the squad he's put together this season as well for a different type of experiment. Allenson FC is the Atletico New Mills squad in new form. They've only got 24 players in their squad. They have not picked the 25, and that was a way of making sure that the 2 names that it came from were both split 12 each. So there's a reason for that. Tyne-Tyne, as you say, Los Aracas, and Astana's Ajax, which is Astana Square coming into the league. And I've been intrigued by his work with Estoril on the streams that he's been doing. So another big manager to enter the league. Let's get ourselves started. And if anyone does actually know, without looking up the significance of the name of the Norwegian manager, then please get in touch. Any ideas yourself?
No idea. No, I think you're playing on my ignorance there. So yeah, I'll leave it up to the chat to dissect and guess.
Someone's going to research it. No one would know. Surely, except Daji, of course. Right, we are going to jump in, and seeing as Dimble's here, his team isn't in the league, so we can't go to that. We're going to go to Alf next for Team GB versus Dalgety Rangers. If Ross is watching, just give us a shout if you can. Otherwise, I've got your substitute instructions. But Alf is here, so we'll look at Team GB for this season. Now, I'm going to see if Alf saw my message, because with him being in Division 2... no, Alf, you can name 2 more substitutes, so just let us know who your subs are to go on the bench for today. And remember, managers, you can make substitutes at 45 and at 60 minutes. There's no limit to the number of subs you can do, other than, of course, 3 during the match. And you can make tactical like formation changes during this time. You can't go more defensive or more attacking, but you, in terms of team instructions, but you can change your formation if you want to, little bits during that time. So Alf's Team GB, what do you make of this one?
Yeah, decent concept, of very England heavy, as you might imagine from this era of the game. In terms of formation, I mean, the 3 at the back is pretty strong. Neil Lennon there anchoring things at DM. We're still not able to name the midfield left, are we, by name? But yeah, Stephen Gerrard in the midfield and Dave Beckham on the right. Absolutely classic. It's a strong team all the way through, really, I think.
Yes, and Michael Owen playing in attacking mid. I do think it's probably a decent move of getting somebody in that attacking midfield position running forward who's got a bit of pace, even though he can't say that that he plays in that role exactly.
The key thing is looking for his potential injury, because he's one of the most injured players on the game, I find.
Yes, he's probably Darren Anderson might beat him on that, I would say. Is there anybody else who would get more than that? I think maybe not. Maybe just Anderton and Owen.
Anderton's one that actually follows real life, which I find quite fun. There must be sort of an input into the game as like this guy gets injured all the time.
I'm sure his injury prone is only 18 as well. I think it's only 18.
You say only 18?
Yes, yeah, I probably would choose if I knew the injury proneness of players. Full stop. I don't think I'd pick anyone with 18 for injury proneness. I'm not sure of my Mega Horse squad at all as to who they are. But Alf's picked Barry Ferguson and Alan Smith as his extra subs, unless he wants Alex Ferguson and Jim Smith maybe to join there in a thing here. Predictions are coming. Fifey's here, and immediately he's throwing in 3-0 to England, which means
he's talking about real life.
Oh, right, is he? I thought he'd making a prediction here of saying Alf's team was England.
Our Easter Island statue's just scored the third goal for England.
The Easter Island statue. Well, the thing that's referred to as Imhotep in Look Around You. I am just going to take a look. Well, he's Fifey got to predict 3-0 to Team GB. Remember, we've got here John Lennon there. Neil Lennon, that guy there, the Welsh one, and Rab Douglas are in the first team from outside of the England side here. Simon Davies is also in the squad as another Welsh representative. Anyway, over to... and we're just autoing the numbers. Nobody's putting any requests for numbers. Dalgety Rangers, who have made just 2 changes. You haven't missed a jersey team. Don't worry, they're on now. 2 changes to their squad, I think it was, in terms of transfers. If I were to try and pick them out off the top of my head now, is Christian Kivu an addition to this team? I can't actually fully remember who's joined. Crespo and Kivu?
I don't remember Crespo and I don't remember Kivu, so yeah, I'm happy to believe you on that front.
I mean, I don't have it right in front of me, and but I think it may well be that. I've noticed that Belgium are back in front of Estonia, despite being 2-0. 1-0 down, so after 2 minutes. 3-0, 3-0, England can score goals. Anyway, so this team, same formation as last season.
Yeah, very, very strong side. Still rocking the lack of DMC, which, to be fair, served them pretty well last season in Division 2. So if it's not broken, don't fix it. But the addition of Crespo up front, as well as having Van Nistelrooy, it's 2 very, very powerful strikers and a very, very competent defence. So you could probably get away without a DMC when you've got Lizarazu, Nesta, Samuel, and Zanetti at the back.
Predictions are starting to come in with Nesta, Samuel, Lizarazu, Zanetti. Superb, strong defence there. Mike's going 2-2. Dan Hazard says, "Sorry, I'm late. Don't worry, you've missed no matches." He's going 2-1 to Dalgety. Josh is going 4-2. And Fifey's going 3-1 Dalgety. So they're all going for away team not to lose. But we haven't heard Alf's prediction, which of course he must be a fan of his own team. But he does say Dalgety do look to have better play. You might be right, actually, Alf. You might be right that this team do look slightly stronger. You do have home advantage, and I don't know how much that's going to count for. Ask Jens at Hulls how Crespo and Van Nistelrooy work as a pair. It's not the best sometimes, but then again, this is a completely different side, and we shall see how they get on. 1-0 says Alf, and up to Rick Helme from Limbo, of course, being a fan of his own players. He wants to see Owen in the attacking midfield role there, David. Thank you very much. I think it will be a good one. Did you make a prediction?
I didn't. I'm 2 strong sides. Team GB at home. I'm going to go for a draw of any description. It won't be 0-0, but a draw is my prediction.
Let's see how it is, and we'll keep the insight in the matches a little briefer than last season. But of course, this has just started, so no wonder a quarter of an hour in to a season right here, Mike, when you see the players not even on the bench and the impact that they could have to a team, yeah, these are very, very strong. And the reason why they're both in Division 1, of course. Chance and a yellow card for Walter Samwell as Shearer looked like he's going through, but then Emerson scores to make it 1-0 to Dalgety at this point, and the Jers are in front, and Douglas made a good save from Emerson, who looks very, very lively.
Yeah, strong start from Dalgety there.
And then England hit the bar. Team GB hit the bar with a player that was that Welsh player, and then Crespo scores. It is 2-0. Is that more goals than he scored for Radaby last season?
Let's not start this so early into the season, but I'm going to say yes, probably.
We're getting Neil Lennon to come back into this. It does seem like at the moment Beckham looks like he maybe had a chance, but it does seem like it's the non-English players who've had more of an impact for Team GB in terms of attacking. But Rio Ferdinand did have a shot just before half-time, and the conspiracy against Nesta that we were seeing last season doesn't seem to be on making an impact tonight, as he's on a 9 at half-time.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a solid away performance so far from Dalgety, and the ratings tend to reflect. I mean, Sebastian Frey's on an 8, so it'll be interesting to see the shot count on the stats.
It's 6-2 each team, and it's
been reasonably even, but I think just Dalgety have been a bit more ruthless. It looks like.
Indeed. Duggan's here as well. Welcome to the show for tonight. We're going to go over to Team GB in case Alf's got any sub plans. When you can make as many subs of your allowance as you like. Rio Ferdinand, 5 key tackles out of the 5 tackles he's made. Sol Campbell, 5 key tackles out of the 8 tackles that he's made and won. Now, if they weren't there, this could have been a very different story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a 3-man central defence, they've made what's that? That's 21 tackles between them in the first half, and they've won 16 of them. So yeah, they've been going great guns. Really, I'm not sure what Ryan Giggs has been up to in this half. Though, to be fair, to earn a 7, he's done the square root of nothing really.
Well, we know what he can do sometimes, allegedly and otherwise, outside in the world of football. Someone taking pot shots in the background on commentary. I think it is just there is a little bit of sound.
Yeah, apologies. It will stop. It's we've got creaky floorboards. So
there we go.
When she goes to bed.
That's all right. I've got a slightly poorly little girl today, so just hoping that she keeps asleep over the course of this. Yeah. Scholes for Owen is being the sub-mate there, and I don't believe there's anything else happening for that. And that means that Dalgety are ready to go as well, despite the fact that Emerson is on 79. I think if I just check the things while you analyse them very quickly, I'll just check.
Yeah, absolutely. They've taken a lot fewer passes, but it just looks like they've been a lot more direct, a lot more ruthless. Every shot has been on target, apart from Ruud van Nistelrooy, which is good to see in terms of sort of having that away plan. Perfect away performance so far, keeping it to 0, which you can't argue with if you're a Dalgety fan, that's for sure.
Yes, and I'm sure there are an increasing number as they show that they can cope in Division 1. Jim's prisoner is trying to escape, concerned for the welfare. I think the second half has started on the slower commentary. It's 3-0, and Pablo Aimar has he killed the game off? I don't know. Alf was right that the other team looked stronger, but here we are. Substitutes coming up, and Fowler has a chance, and Gerrard also involved. The subs are coming, but it's 4-0 at this point. 4-0, and Rab Douglas is on a 4. 6 for Fowler and a 6. Oh, I must just pause for a second, so I'll let you talk through this. I must tend to my little girl. Okay.
No worries. Yeah, so I mean the goals have come thick and fast in the second half. It looks like Douglas has struggled a little bit, dropping from a 6 to a 4. I've also moved rooms now so that you can't hear the prisoner upstairs in my house. But I think realistically, Team GB are just up against a very good side at the moment, and despite being at home, I think just Dalgety have got a bit too much. Um, Obviously, I can't see because Dan has gone. Whether Alan Shearer is suffering a bit or is it just a lack of fitness, we shall see. But I think yeah, just overall, the players for Team GB, I think our side are really strong, but they're just up against a side that's just a touch stronger, I believe. And now it's a case of filling time until he comes back. Yeah, fair play, Mike. I mean, I think that might be our next option to start tapping Morse code on the pipes. But yeah, for now it's just shotgun sounds on the floorboards, I'm afraid. Yeah, so I suppose while we are waiting for that to come back, I suppose we can delve back into real life, can't we? So England 3-0 up against Hungary. What are we saying? Canes of poor man's and Nketiah. Well, yeah, I wish I could believe that, but as an Arsenal fan, even I can't back that up. Well, what's my favourite fish? Oh, big salmon fan, Dimble. I think that's as fair as I can say. You can have it hot, have it cold, with eggs, with potatoes. It's a good all rounder. There we are, Mike. Mike's a cod man. Excellent choice. Classic with chips.
Temporarily back. Chester's been a little bit sick, so I'm going to kick off the final third. Just taking a look at Dalgetti. Emerson will come off. Oh, doesn't matter about player instructions. There's nothing secret in here. So he'll come off for Barry Ferguson. And defence is the only other ones with sixes. So we'll continue the match. Carry on. I will go and keep dealing with things here. Apologies tonight, but season starting with a bang. Off we go.
No worries. Good luck. Right, so again, plenty of chances for both sides actually since the restart, which is good to see. Team GB having a bit of a renaissance. And again, yellow card there, but plenty going on for both sides without another goal since the restart, and a red card, which means we're going to have to wait for Dan to come back, unfortunately. So yeah, Neil Lennon's seen red. I suppose the best thing, Alf, is if you could message on what changes you want just in lieu of him coming back. That would be great. Thank you. So Dimble, not a fan of cod. It is well, it is a classic. And who else we got? Who else is a fan of the fish? No, I think that's about it, isn't it, so far? Right, no worries, Alf. So yeah, when Dan does come back, then we'll relay that to him. Yeah, I mean, other than that, then just looking at the football, I've just seen Sterling miss a chance there. So yeah, just seeing what we can sort of fill the Team GB need a special advisor. Who would you recommend, Scott? That's the question. Yeah, no, good to see Douglas as well. Yeah, he's moved from a 4 to a 5. I mean, the sort of barrage of chance for both sides, I think, before the red card. And Ferdinand and Sol Campbell update, sort of keeping up their 8s, which is nice to see.
Oh, it didn't last long, did it? Wow.
Welcome back. Ironically, I also lost my connection, but more or less as soon as you left, Neil Lennon got sent off, so it's something you need to intervene with.
I assume he's...
We've asked Alf, and he has said no change.
Brilliant. There we go then. Right. Here we go. Let's just continue. One day I'll be back.
Right, so we're off again. Still plenty of whites. The Team GB still reasonably holding their own. Still a flurry of yellow cards, pulse goals and a yellow. And a goal, well, disallowed by Alan Shearer there. And a bit of injury time. Again, wide there from Team GB and full time, yeah. So 4-0 to Dalgety Rangers. Yeah, so a filler question from Fifey. Will CR7 get the number 7 or get numbers? Well, he's been given the number 7 because he's nicked it off Cavani, but will he get numbers from Man United? Number of shirt sales, I'd wager, but whether it's numbers of goals and assists, I don't know. I do wonder whether the game has maybe got a bit quicker and a bit more pressing heavy since he was last with us. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, his numbers across the board have been fantastic in both for Madrid and for Juventus. So I don't see why he wouldn't do a little bit for Man United. But it just strikes me as a signing potentially that's a bit unnecessary for them, and whether we can do it in the Prem sort of remains to be seen, I think. This Ronaldo fella couldn't lace Pepe's boots. Well, I imagine he might still have Pepe's boot marks on his face from sort of several training sessions when they were teammates at Madrid. I wouldn't be that surprised. But I suppose the biggest question with Ronaldo is will he take penalties off of Hernandez, or I think Hernandez is pretty decent at them, but it's an ego thing perhaps. Oh, nothing. Yeah, we just had a fourth England goal in real life against Hungary. Declan Rice has just popped it home.
Oh, Tim Rice. There he is. 4-0. I'm guessing that we have a best commentator of the season award here for you, Jim.
No, absolutely not. We're sort of just talking about the possibility of the good bit of business that might be this Ronaldo fella that's gone back to Man United. But I will freely admit we're glad to have you back.
Oh well, it's nice to be back. But my little girl is just been a little bit sick, so
bless her.
Hopefully, it was a team effort to get her back into bed, change covers and such like. So yeah, and hopefully that it will be. I don't know that Alf won't feel as sick as that after the performance. Opening game, they've been absolutely dog-eared there. I noticed Scott's on the chat. Good evening, Scott. Anyone else joined, or have we got a set group?
I'm surprised we haven't gone down to 0. To be honest with you, after in your absence, but people are still here.
Look at Sol Campbell, and he got a 7. I don't think he's seen 4 goals, but 14 out of 14 tackles, 9 key.
Yeah, and it's a strange one. He's been in defeat. He's been an absolute beast, but I presume the game engine doesn't let you have too high a score if you've just been tanked for 4, I suppose.
Quite likely with that. Yeah, well, good attacking display for Dorgetti. Ross will be absolutely delighted with what's happened. It did look more even in ways, didn't it? I mean, just clinical finishing, Team GB more possession, had some
Yeah,
chances.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Dalgetti, it's just been a really good away performance, and Douglas with maybe a sort of slightly poor performance in goal for the home side, but
Yeah,
there's not too big a margin between the teams. But yeah, Dalgetti have just had a really good away day.
and he improved in that last half hour. Team GB need Constantino, says Doug. Do you know, I don't doubt for a second, Scott, that Jim has done a good job in my, a great job in my absence. Not at all. He's a quality pundit and maybe
It was top quality dead air. Rest assured of that.
bit more of a regular pundit this season, potentially as well. So, the old age ballers, who are not so old, versus Steelhawks. I will stop saying that, Josh, at some point, that your team is not very old at 31 plus. They may all be 32 now, are they? No, we've still got 3 to clear. So that Luis Enrique, Simeone, and Cafu. Cafu's is Simeone not 21? Did I hear?
He is for me.
It was a huge, the huge error of me forgetting to actually type a date of birth in for him. But I did. What was it? 24 votes and 23 were in favour of just continuing the save. So whoever that other person was, then thanks for your honesty, rather than just making the job easier for me.
Fair enough. So it's still it's a fantastic team. Again, 3 at the back. Tony Adams, we're talking what? So Jurgen Kohler and Paolo Maldini, legends of the game in real life, whether they can play together. I'm not sure what the cumulative pace is going to be at the back there, though, to be quite honest. But
I'm not sure Maldini. Kohler's is 6, I think, and Adams may even be 4.
As high as 4. I mean,
yeah. Oh, he's dropped to 5. Sort of
noted for a 5. He's got 11 acceleration though, so he's got a good first yard, I presume.
15 for Maldini. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Did you see Jurgen Kohler playing for Fortuna last season?
I did a little bit, and different game, different save. I mean, whether he'd be better or worse, it's I'm not quite sure, to be fair.
Well, I've got him for Mega Horse this season, so I'm hoping he can play as well as he did for Fortuna. Let's say.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, it's good to see another attacking midfielder for sort of Gabby Batistuta, sort of very similar to sort of maybe a slightly slower Michael Owen role.
Yeah, this was a late change. Lizarazu failing a fitness test to start the match, so Luis Enrique has dropped back from this attacking mid role, and Batistuta has come in. A strong squad. Paul Gascoigne left off the bench. Yeah, I think that the 18 they've put out are probably about the strongest that they're going to have.
Yeah, it's quite odd down the squad that I just noticed that Gascoigne was uncertain about his future, for what's left of it for him, certainly in his career at this point.
There are a few who are the future has not been sorted for each team. I'm going to do that between rounds here. It's a quick turnaround from the save coming out to get that done. Contracts and futures will be sorted ASAP. Steelhawks, under the management of David, he's gone all out with a very, very strong side today, and why not, especially with the team he's up against.
Yeah, no, can't agree more. It's again, we've got a very experienced centre half pairing. We've got Ashley Cole there, the youngster, and Lillian Thuram at right back. It's a very good squad, and I do like this formation actually. To be fair,
something different. Yeah, I don't think we've had we probably have at some point, but almost that sort of little candle approach going on, whatever it is.
Indeed, yeah. Alan Shearer up front on his own as a good focal point quite often works, and interested to see Kieran Dye on the left side of midfielders with an arrow as well. So we're interested to see how he plays, because he's a DMRC, isn't he, rather than a attacking midfielder left centre.
Yeah.
So be good to see how he gets on. But yeah, I like the look of that, and yeah, it's good to have David and Steelhawks in the league.
Definitely, yeah. He had the short spells helping out with Flamingos, I think, for a match last season, and then he went on to take over from Wolfie, who he has missed Wolfie from this season. Did submit a team, but then left the community, and his team was replaced by Alf as the last squad to come in for this season. So it's obviously welcome to Alf, and Wolfie is he's obviously welcome to come back and join our waiting list if he does
Indeed, yeah.
return.
Hopefully we'll hear
Yeah.
from him again at some point.
Barsom over on this side could have been switched over with Dyer, but we've got to trust what David comes up with in this one, and
No,
we'll get
indeed, yeah.
going.
I'm intrigued to see how this matches up. It's one that could go either way, I think.
And predictions, it could go either way. You're right. I'll just say quickly. I did say we are going to go fairly quickly through the games. I didn't expect the hold up to be a 21 minutes from kickoff of one to kickoff of another. So
We'll rattle through them, don't worry.
apologies. Big noopies here. Andrew Allen, welcome. Your game hasn't been on yet, so you're in time to see yours. Dan Hazard goes at 2-2. And Noopy's gone for 3-1 to Steelhawks. Yourself, Jim?
I'm going to go 2-1 Steelhawks.
2-1 Chesney Hawks. Let's see how they get on against the Bensioners. It's consular commentary, isn't it? Have you missed your game? No, you have not. You're okay. Early chances, of course. Romario and George Weah sounds like quite an interesting strike force. I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on this season. They are players who are slightly older, but again, younger than me in terms of their game age. I know they're not younger than me in real life. You may be surprised, but it's a goal for Romario. The first time we've ever seen Romario in the Swemp League, and he has scored within a quarter of an hour.
So it's been a solid start from the old boys.
It has indeed. And Yapstam's taken a yellow card. Oliver Kahn versus Oliver Kahn in goal. I'm just suddenly noticing that. Northern Ireland handing it to the Lithuanians. Now, what was that score? I didn't see. But it's good if they've done that. Obviously, very good. Unless you're Lithuanian. And it's coming close to half time. We've not seen too much. But we have seen the OABs show their hand and going 1-0 up at this point. Jurgen Kohler on an 8. 4-1 to Northern Ireland it was.
Yeah, so again, it looks pretty even, and I think the Steelhawks did hit the upright, I think, in that first half. So they are knocking on the door, but the old age boys have or the old age ballers have done the right thing, and they're in front for themselves at the moment.
Yes, indeed. I'm just going to ask, is David still here? I think he's probably still here watching, although he might have got bored of the talk of vomit, but who knows. For Josh, you can make as many subs as you want at this point, ranging from none to 3. Any ideas of what you want to do there, Josh? You can see that your strikers have both had a shot on target. Bosfeld with the other one, he's got a yellow. And the defence, Jurgen Kohler winning plenty of challenges.
Yeah, he's a standout defender, Kohler. Yeah, he fully deserves his 8. And Maldini is a quality performer, so he's on 8 also. But then Oliver Kahn on a 9, though. They're sort of holding on to that 1-0 lead in the face of a bit of Steelhawks pressure. So to be on a 9 after the first half, I think that tells a bit of a story about him potentially keeping the Hawks out rather than anything else.
And then we switch over to the Steelhawks, where their Oliver Kahn's on a 7. And at this point, we can see that going forward, they've been lacking a little bit. Now, David, if you want to make any changes, if you are here, just let me know. But I'm just seeing if this
potentially could be concerned about both centre halves for the Steelhawks on a booking. So it'd be interesting to see how that manifests itself in the second half.
Yeah, Nesta and Stam. I'm just going to see if have we got any instructions there. I will give it another. There we are. Palacios off for Joe Cole. And are there any more? I'll give you just give it a an indication whether you want any more or not, and then we'll get started straight away in that second half. 4 games in 9 days. Fitness matching 2. Is that about the international football, or is that about this? Football and championship managers blend sometimes, don't they? I'm going to start the second half. We've got 15 minutes.
The same sport, isn't it?
Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but here they are. Second half is underway. This. No, they're not playing quite so often. 4 games in 9 days, I'm sure. Maybe a game a week, pretty much. We're going to pop over to... It's 1-1! And I was watching... Of course, I was making sure I was watching the clock at that point. And it was a debut goal for Alan Shearer, I believe.
Yeah. So 1-1 at the subs. And they also had a penalty turned down as well. So they're certainly knocking on the door, the Steelhawks.
Really going for it now. And it shows that team does have some strength. I think that the way Davy's gone about this game is he's actually made his team not necessarily the strongest possible lineup he could put out, but a good solid defence and then experimenting a bit further forward. So, Old Age Ballers, Josh, any changes at this point? There's your fitness, and then we'll go back to your ratings at that point. Just a quick glance, and I'm also going to switch over to Steelhawks, who, if you take everybody apart from Taram, your entire team that's on the pitch are on 8s. 7, sorry. Taram's on an 8. And then that's what the fitness is like. So either manager, jump in with your suggestions as soon as possible. What would you do?
What would I do? I mean, for the Steelhawks, certainly now it looks like they're really coming into the game. So if it was me, I'd probably keep it as it is.
And why not? We shall see if either manager... Josh is going for subs and David is not, and you're doing exactly... I think he'll have typed it about the same time you spoke it in real life. So, anyway, Sue Andy Gorham's in the same squad. Now, I did have a bottle of beer called Gorham, so I made sure I bought 2 the other week. Anyway, so all these ballers. Ints on for Simeone. And Weyer for Sugar. And swapping with Batista. There we are. So they've made 2 changes. That's everything right, isn't it there? Yep. Good. And on we go. And it's slowed down because the subs have been made. It changed to the other manager's speed. And Joe Cole makes it 2-1. Steelhawks have turned it around. And the game is now... it's well swung, isn't it? Joe Cole coming on, having a really good impact in this second half.
Yeah, doing well with an 8 for a half-time sub.
Yeah, Taram up to a 9. Jurgen Kohler keeping the 8. Maldini on an 8. And loads and loads of 7s, showing that it was pretty much a close game where some players have found it hard to get a foothold. Tony Adams gets a yellow card towards the end. And full-time, Steelhawks come from behind and hand it to the OABs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good second half performance from the Steelhawks.
And yeah, it goes with
in terms of chances, it's a domination. And well, I think the old age ballers were very savvy in the first half. I did notice that there, Oliver Kahn, his rating was dropping down. It did finish on an 8, but it went down to a 7 at one point. But yeah, credit to Steelhawks. Good first game. Good first game really for both sides. But yeah, I think Steelhawks, especially according to the match stats, have deserved that turnaround.
Yeah, I would say so. I think the OABs have definitely got something to be positive about, despite that. Defensively, they did lose the game, but the defence looks pretty tight. But the attack was just very, very strong, especially when Joe Cole came on. Mendieta with 1 assist, and Shearer and Cole with the goals. So, yeah, well played to both managers there, and welcome to the league for both of your teams.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
they completely agree.
And it's a good, strong game to watch there. So you've had 2 matches, 2 big ones. Really versus Rondo. We're saving that to last, of course, because you're here. So let's go over to any managers. Dan has your team. You're playing Arsenal's Ajax, so perfect. And then we'll go to Alanson as well for the next one. So the Newcastle side, who have also got Pavel Cernicek in the reserves. But they are going for it this way. Let's just check the fixture list because Dan was saying there's lots of games coming up. There's one 4 days time, 7, 11. So yeah, they do have in 10, 11 days.
Five in 2 weeks.
And that's to get these games over before the World Cup comes in and just leaves a bit of a gap there. That's the reason why they're happening. So yeah, good spot. It's the Swedish league, I think, that's much more fairly paced throughout. And Asner is here. Asner Square, there he is, ready for the show. Is that the first post he's made in the chat tonight?
I think so. Yeah, I think he must have just arrived, or yeah,
welcome
obviously
to the league. Could be keeping quiet. Maybe he doesn't want to talk to us much. Anyway, come on, the lads. Yes, but for Tyneside and Dan, he likes his experimental formations at times, and I suppose it's a bit different with the arrows and a sweeper, of course, in Jonathan Woodgate. But
let's hope that Jonathan Woodgate has a better debut today than he has had in the past.
Yes, yeah, I would say,
especially at sweeper.
That Real Madrid debut is one to remember.
Yeah, it's one for the annals, isn't it? But it's a really, really strong squad. Interested to see how this part of the defensive formation works. But going forward, if they get a foot on the ball, if the players wide, so Bowyer and Robert can get forward, then it looks like they could create some chances. But obviously behind that, it's reasonably defensive with Speed and Dyer and then Butt there. So just want to sort of keep an eye on sort of maybe they get exposed from wide areas defensively, really.
This is the key man for me, David Ginola, and we'll see how he gets on because I think it's his first Swemp appearance of all time as well. Sweeper is always interesting. You're not wrong, Mr. Square. I know Aston Square is a place I believe been there in Ireland, but do we call you by any other name, or do we call you Mr. Square or Asner, or what should we call you these days? Mr. Square.
I thought we were easing up on the length of our pre-match amble.
And I'm talking about somebody's name. Anyway, over to Asner's Ajax, and of course, as it suggests, every single player once played for PSV. But no, of course. Yes, Asner is grand, lovely. Yeah, so these are all ex-Ajax players, and some of them are still at Ajax in real life in one way or another. And this one with the run from Seedorf promises to be attacking.
Yes, it's a bit of a who's who. There are plenty of absolute legends in this squad, and especially, I mean, Ajax have had all sorts of players as he's demonstrated here. Interested to see the Carnu and Bergkamp attacking midfield, rushing forward to join Kluivert. I've quite often used Bergkamp in that role. I've never used Carnu because maybe of his lack of sort of mobility, but Dennis Bergkamp's always served quite well. And yeah, the back four is reasonably strong as well. Yakubu is a decent right back.
He's at right back for 2 teams tonight as well, which is interesting. See how he gets on. Yeah, Kivu as a left back will be good. Can he get any goals like he's being getting for Leddersford in the Super League? 3-3 for Kivu at the moment. Anyway, what do you reckon, having seen both teams? Predictions?
Yeah, 2 very strong sides, but I've just got that sort of leaning, I think, towards the Ajax side. So I'm going to say 2-1 away.
Newcastle versus Ajax. This is going to be quite the match. This is one of the first times we've had 2 actual sort of teams up against each other in this way. Goals, yes, that's the kind of prediction I would make sometime. Just goals, that's what we want to see. I'll switch the commentary up. Taking place at Jimmy's Rec. This game, we haven't been checking the stadiums, and I do hope I've named all the stadia, but I'm not entirely sure. After getting somebody's date of birth missed out, who knows what I've done. Anyway, let's get going. The predictions will come in at some point in the next year. It's been Tyneside attacking first of all, and Nicky Butt has gone off. Ooh.
I mean, could this be the appearance we've all been waiting for from Warren Barton after 2 minutes?
I'm assuming Diddy Hammond will be the one, but if Warren Barton does come on, that would be superb, wouldn't it? Or even Solano and Lee Bowyer going to sit further back. I mean, there's obvious, and then there's left field.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, Diddy Hammond makes sense just for a like for like, doesn't it?
Speaking of Diddy, where's Didier Domi? He's not in this squad. He got injured in all his testing, did he? Lovely. Hammond is on. I think we can both say these two teams are going to be a lot of fun this season. And Viduka, it is who scored the opening goal in this game and leading the line.
Strong start from Tyneside.
And 2-0, and Lee Bowyer gets the goal. Wow, this is extremely strong. But can that Ajax side make a comeback? I'm gonna stick my my money on Van der Sar being the worst player in the Ajax squad on the game.
Yeah, I mean, for Roundhay, I had him last season as a primary goalkeeper, and I ended up having to play Chris Kirkland for a few games because he kept dropping a 5 or so. So I do have sympathy for Asner.
He just doesn't have the agility, does he? That's the agility's really lacking for him. We shall see. For typical Newcastle, this ends 4-2. It's potentially, but Asner so far not been offering as much as we thought they might do. And Dennis Bergkamp on a 5 at half time.
Struggling in his position at AMC.
For Bowyer. Yeah, I thought it was a good move to put him there. I've got to say, thought it was good, and maybe it will be. Maybe he's just been taken out of the game by the great defending from.
And he has got a yellow card, so it could be that has contributed to his rating. But so far so good for the home side. They've been reasonably ruthless. Viduka, as we all know, is quite a beast up front. Makes his presence felt, and there haven't been that many passes, to be honest. It seems.
No, it's been very direct, I suppose. And looking at that, Dan, feel free to make your subs.
Came on after the 8th minute. He's right up there for completion.
He just gave everyone a head start, and he's only one behind Gary Speed. Usually it's Speed who's late. But, we'll have a look at the Asner squad as well. If you want to make any subs, just give me a shout as to who it is, and just let me know when you've finished making your subs as well. Dan says keeper is it is. The 4 are not quite doing it against Mark Viduka.
No, indeed. But De Boer and Davids are playing well, and that's about it, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose if you've got those two doing the job, then you'd expect to be keeping it fairly tight, but not quite at the moment. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. We got leaving it to 60 certainly on here.
I mean, quite clear that Bergkamp must have elbowed someone for his yellow card. I mean, that's got to be true to life.
Well, we can check the reports at some point. I won't do it on the show tonight, but I might put out some little bits of nuggets from the league over the course of the next few days in preparation for the next round of games. Monday night, Division 2. Substitute time approaching, so I'm clock watching. 60 minutes, perfect. Anyway, so Dan with your team at the moment. Robert on 85 is not injured. He's just getting tired and he wants Warren Barton to come on in his place. But we'll see what you decide to do there. And also, it'd be good to see Nobby.
Well, I mean, it'd be good to see Warren Barton as well. I'm frankly amazed that the game's given him the number 2 shirt. Has Dan Hazard actually chosen his squad numbers?
I just assigned them then for things, and it has given him the number 2 shirt. Possibly the fact that they might not have another right back. I'm not sure. if they've got another Pistone, he's left sided more than anything. So Solano for Robert. And let's see what else he's got. Shaka always ruins it for me in this game. Yeah, Shaka Hislop is having a decent debut here coming into the squad for this season.
Yeah, I'm going to try and ignore real life for now. I'd rather focus on this.
yes, it's quite. Stephen Carr's in the squad. Stephen Carr. But he's not in the Matchday squad. That'll be the reason why. We'll go over to Asner. If I think Dan must have finished making his changes. Bergkamp's still on a 5, and Kanu down to 78.
Yeah,
he has a potential naughty foot. I mean, is that a Bakajolu job or Litmanen maybe in that position?
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, then I think it'd be a Litmanen job, or potentially maybe having Bergkamp just in the middle up front and slinging Zlatan on for the fun.
Oh yes, if only the players had the sort of you could represent an ego of Ibrahimovic, because I think that certain stats only going up to 20.
Well, I've had a nice Hucken game on the go, and I've actually loaned Ibra a couple of times from Ajax, and he's an absolute animal, but I just can't sign him full time. I mean, they're happy to loan him to me, which is great, but I can't sign him.
Nobby's playing his trumpet if he scores on the pitch. Wonderful. Bakajolu and De Boer have come on for Bergkamp and Kanu, and we will push on to the end of this one. It's not. I mean, there are things starting to happen again. Tyneside going forward a little bit more chances, and Marcio Santos has got a yellow card for Arsenal's Ajax. But it's been a bit of a calm last part since the substitutes. I don't think they've killed the game off. I think that it's chance there, Marcio Santos into De Boer, and he's just missed the target. And will we get anything? Clivert with a chance against, of course, the team he played against last season. And there's the goal from Ronald De Boer. It wasn't a frank assist, was it? He's up to an 8, so it could have been. Lee Bowyer was on a 10 at one point. He finishes 2-1. He drops to a 9. But man of the match, and Asner certainly came into that more in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I thought that Tyneside were just going to sort of ease into the end of the second half and just sort of take it easy. But there were a real flurry of chances for Asner at the end there, and obviously they deserved a goal. Just worth looking on the sort of shot accuracy from them going forward. But to have 14 attempts is pretty decent.
Yeah, it is, and Lee Bowyer, man of the match. I mean, an assist and a goal is good. It's more the 4 dribbles he's made as well, and the 2 interceptions. All contributing and being fouled 3 times.
Definitely an overpowered player, I think, on the game.
But yeah, he does turn out some very, very good ratings, doesn't he?
But he's also in my team as well, so I won't hear a bad word said against him.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, you managed to put him in your team. The lack of goal scoring killing in your pre-season games too. Let's take a look at the Asner Asner's Ajax team here. It was Van der Voort with the assist for De Boer, so good to see a player Van der Voort. This gets a little bit of criticism in first season games, I think, sometimes, and he's played well today. Frank De Boer, lots and lots of challenges and lots of key tackles, and impressive second half.
He looks a standout actually in terms of their performance, Frank De Boer, but Van der Sar actually finished on an 8, so he's had a real turnaround from his first half display.
From the 5, do people play Bergkamp in the hole or up front? I don't tend to be Arsenal very much, although I am being them in the Anelka save that I'm having a go at if I've got time.
I tended to play him in the hole, and he's always done really well. But we've had him at Arsenal. I mean, if he's just an assist machine when it's Henry up front. It just seems it's Bergkamp, Henry, goal. So I suppose it depends who's ahead of him, really.
Well, there we go. So the Allenson FC, you might have noticed a bit of a theme amongst the players in this lineup.
Indeed, the Alex and Jacobs. I do really like this premise actually, and that's the reason for 24, right? So there's no bias of 13 to 12.
I did find a player in the game called Andrew Allen and thought he should put him in as his 25th. He should have, but I think he was a goalkeeper, so it was a kind of let's not put another keeper in the squad. But yeah, it is a great idea for the team. Last season, I enjoyed watching Atletico New Mills and Michael Hughes doing a job for at least half a season. But yeah, this has thrown up a few players that we've not seen here. Vietchkovsky, or however I should pronounce him, and
Yeah,
Alex
definitely.
Aguinaga.
There are those sort of familiar faces, but then I mean, like Jakob or Jacob Rex on the bench.
Yeah,
Never
Jacob
heard of
Rex, the
him.
Australian keeper, who's obviously Norwegian in this, but yeah,
Oh, and
he's
look at
got
those
very
stats! Fantastic.
good potential, but obviously not in. In this, he was a really poor goalkeeper. You're absolutely right about the Andrew Allen suggestion, and yeah, Jakob Glerup Nielsen. Never seen him before. Seems okay, decent shooting.
Yeah, no, he seems all right. Yeah, determined, which is good to see.
There's my
My old
favourite, the
friend.
Faroese.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen him on a few saves, but never actually signed him because it's normally one of those ones where he has no interest in joining your club or wants to wait till the end of the season to make a decision.
Yes, and here's somebody who finds himself pretty important. Jakob H. Yule there as well with his like William G. Stewart at
My
15 to
old
1.
friend Holovko is unhappy already. I've signed him a few times, but I've knocked it on the head more recently because he's just very miserable.
It'll be a contract issue, I think, with that one, so we can check that. And Trumpton, who this season you can see that the squad has had a real overhaul, some very different players. Hans-Jörg Butt in goal for tonight, so getting a game, and yeah, some very different players, and the formation this time, which, I mean, take a look at Jörg Heinrich there playing in the attacking midfield role for a player that is a defender, defensive mid, left centre, playing in an attacking mid role today.
Yeah, well, there is that, but there's a real absence of Sebastian Frey in midfield for my liking.
He did do well, didn't he? Was it 2-7
And,
to the end of
and
the season for him there?
indeed, and to be quite honest, I mean, for Big Kid, really, if Zanoni was back a position, then it's quite a regular lineup actually. So it's quite regulation by his standards.
Well, yeah, there is that. I mean, formation. I mean, I don't want to give away what he's doing yet. It's up to it is up to Big Kid to make the more clear if he wants to. Although I will say, take a look at what formation this is based on, and that might give you a bit of a clue. So yeah, some interesting teams. Let's have predictions from yourselves and everybody else.
I'm going to be looking at, I think, Trumpton at home, and that sort of smattering of quality across the both teams. I'm sort of saying 3-1 Trumpton is my prediction.
I think Josh has gone for 3-0 here as well. Dan has a saying about the Allenson FC, a great concept, and the team's actually decent. Yeah, some real different things here. He's going 0-0 himself on the prediction for the game for his team. Big Kid has given me sub instructions for tonight. He said he wasn't able to make it for this, or he was unlikely to make it. Hope everything's okay there, and we'll also have him commentating in a round coming up soon, all being well. So 4-0 Penza hat trick here. Fifey's a big fan.
Penza.
Yes, imagine he did. And yeah, we shall see. Anyway, let's kick off this match and get the commentary going.
Slow start.
First 10 minutes has just given me time to breathe. Yeah, I think. Well, look at that. Oh, wow. Ray Parler took the ball. I think he took it round Aguinaga and then smashed one in. But it was only Ray Parler.
Another one to upset Tim Lovejoy, which is good to see.
So 1-0.
Yeah, strong start from Trumpton so far.
Yeah, they've settled, and the fives are increasing for Allenson. That's they're starting to just turn up a little bit now, where there were a lot of fives at one point, and it just remains to be seen, can they hold on and gonna.
I haven't seen an Allenson chance yet, unfortunately.
and he says, Andrew says his internet's he's going to be behind. Just click the get it up to as close as you can to being up to date, or you won't be able to hear me tell you that. Of course, they've not had a shot. They've not had a shot this first half.
No, yeah, I think the commentary alluded to that. It's been a pretty dominant Trumpton performance so far. There's a lot of red. A
So
vicious shot from Parlour to the top corner. It's good to see.
Keane to Parlour, went past Smerteen, and then past Aguinaga, and a vicious shot. That's the goal of the season so far, I'd imagine. The other commentaries have not produced anything like that.
Calling it early.
I think at 60 minutes we'll see a sub for Trumpton. Roy Keane will be coming off, I think, at this point for what looks like an injury, and we'll go straight over to Allenson. So you can have a little look there at his team. As Dan Hazard says on there, 5 5s.
Yeah,
and they're all Alex's.
I mean, well, that would be an interesting tot up actually of the average performance per Jacob per Alexander. Actually, that'd be quite good as a stat.
It's 2 against 9 in the team, and at least one.
I can absolutely see Nesta and Holovko. Actually, what Holovko has done, well, he's done all right for a 7, but Nesta's done nothing. But actually, Alex has lost a lot of his tackles, hasn't he? So that's understandable. And I guess for the front players, they just haven't really done anything at all, have they? I mean, no shots, nothing on target.
No,
it's pretty poor so far up front. But of course, you quite often have those teams that have nothing, and then they nick one with their first chance.
Yeah, they're going to need to have a first chance at some point, aren't they? Well, they're going to have a first chance to score with it. Yes, that's absolute nonsense. I'm talking.
And their forward line have been playing plenty of passes. It's just not clicked, it seems.
Yeah, they are spreading the ball around. I am just waffling in case he does want to make a change, especially with 5 5.
It's nothing compared to the waffle I had to do while you weren't on screen, that's for sure.
And the frantic running around I was doing upstairs replacing sheets. Obviously, I did say that this was going to be trying to keep the pace faster for this season, but things do get in the way, and I understand that. And now, as I've just proved a point tonight, I think we're going to have to go to 60 minutes, and if you hear this at half time, then please just skip to 60 as soon as you can. Okay. So the second half gets started, and we're going for it. It's still 1-0.
Oh, offside goal from Zidane there.
60, fine, good. There we are. Okay, so big kid here, perfect timing. I'm going to go over to. Well, I'm going to do yours first to give Mr. Nupatron a chance to catch up. Your team's winning 1-0. Ray Parlour with a superb goal. And I'll just check your fitness for you. Roy Keane, to me, is that we're going to have to come off, possibly. Actually, he's only lost 5% at the beginning of the second half, but it's a thigh injury. So any changes for you at this point? Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's an ample replacement in Seedorf, I'd say, if you needed.
Well, you never know what might happen here with Heinrich and attacking mid. We might see Crespo.
Well, Crespo's in the squad as well, and so is Puntas, so you never know.
Yeah, I've got to say, I'd never seen Pepe Puntas before.
He's one that I've just seen in passing, but never signed. It's one of those that you think more you just remember the name, don't you?
I'm not going to forget him. What's the score now? It is 1-0 still at this point. So I'll switch over to your team while Big Kid has a think about what to do. And we're looking at it this way around. Del Piero on a 5 and 82%. He isn't injured though. So go to your tactics, have a quick look. And either manager, just get back to me with what you're going to do.
One thing for Allenson is they have improved.
Yeah, just Del Piero on the 5. Yeah,
in the second half. It's just Del Piero that's struggling still.
So going to go with subs as sent. Yes, I am going to do that. Although from next show, if you are here, it's easier for you to tell me the subs rather than me looking through my things. It's not just for you. That's for everybody. If you're on the stream, rather than sending me through to look for things, then just give me them back again. Even if you just copy them. Aguinaga coming off there for D'Alessandro and Borg on. Okay, so that is done. Have we had anything from Big Kid? I'm going to go with, seeing as he's just got here, I might go with what he's given me as his subs. So let's just check this. See, there he is, making his subs for me. Perfect. Keen off Crespo on. Yes. Parlour DMC.
Oh, we're just pushing him up the field. Excellent.
And Crespo attacking mid. There we are. Just the one change there, I think. Let's get cracking on. Okay, let's go for it. Oh,
it's a bit more for Allinson. A couple of chances for Allinson, which is good to see.
Yeah, Zickler was going forward, having a chance. Another one maybe down the other end. It's definitely close.
Much more even this half.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable, low-scoring game, definitely. Zidane scores a free kick to make it 2-0, and then Penza. Penza scoring the goal to make it 3-0. Trumpton, the substitute and the changes have worked very, very well, despite the fact that Crespo's not doing the job himself. Dimble, great to have you on watching. Thanks for bringing another member of the audience tonight along with you as well. So superb.
Yeah.
Trumpton 3. Trumpton 3.
Yeah, and it looks like two very good goals from the players playing in the CM position as well, because I think the Zidane goal looked like a bit of a worldie as well.
Yeah, the free kick down there, wasn't it? Free kick over the wall after a foul from Holovko on Penza. Two boys basically no lunch tomorrow after these performances. I think you should be able to give a bit more lunch to Jacob slightly for not getting any 5s.
Yeah, and
Borg got a 7 there.
Yeah, 7 as well. So yeah,
that's very fair.
Well, I mean, they improved from the first half. I think it was 5-5, wasn't it, to 3-5? But actually, at 60 minutes, they were. It was only 1. Yeah, well.
It wasn't too bad at all. Pens are doing a lot of jumping, but only 4 headers won. And Thomas has done a decent job there in defence. A good call to have him in the squad. I like Klomper. I don't think we even had a Klomper last season at all, did we?
No, I don't remember seeing one. But yeah, he's a signing I quite often make when I can. He's decent.
And Jörg Heinrich there with a 7 in attacking mid, so something a bit different. And Big Kid, I didn't say what your new thing you're doing is. That's up for you if you want to tell people. I did tell them to look at the formation that you chose, but that was it. Loco Calaveras versus Falaraki, so 76ers in new form, entirely South American. And what do you make of this with a very attacking looking lineup?
Yeah, completely agree. Very attacking. A few of the old favourites. So a few of the old favourites from my team last season, actually, like Riquelme, Ronaldinho. I quite like the players running in, Denilson and Aymar from the wide positions. Never had Jardel as a player myself.
No, I don't think I have. Despite he's always one that had great attributes, but he was too expensive because I played as lower teams.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, completely agree. Simeone, a rock at the back there, sort of anchoring the midfield.
Yeah, I got rid of the Pablo from his name, by the way, as you can see. I've shortened a few names.
And he's the correct age as well, no?
Yes, this one is.
Yeah, overall, it's a very strong, I imagine, quite aggressive squad. Bearing in mind all this, it seems that the South Americans on the game have got quite high aggression, but it's a quality squad all round. And yeah, I'm interested to see how they get on, but with a very attacking formation.
And they can even leave Zanetti out of the 18 for this game. Uh, yes, yes, Fifey. I think I did bottle it on the stadium name in the end, but I did want to call it the Cattery. I can't even remember what I did give. Oh yeah, I put your stadium as the initial name that you wanted, but I'd forgotten what it was. And the 96ers. So where Alf earlier on had a sort of a younger England team with a few other British ones, this Falaraki team, the Euro 96 squad, with a couple of fillers to make it up to, well, three fillers to make it up to the 25. In fact, it needed four because David Platt's retired.
Yeah, it looks it looks familiar to those of us that obviously were Euro '96 teenagers and everything else. I mean, what's Dennis Wise doing there? What is Dennis Wise? I mean, Dennis Wise is not David Platt. I mean, I know David Platt's retired, but come on. Other than that, though, yeah, it's not as defensive as it might seem actually with the players running on. I think Shearer will have a lot to do if they haven't got the ball. Just depends on sort of how fit Gaza is, I think, but it's a squad we're all familiar with.
Where is
That's a
Teddy?
very good point actually from Andrew there. Where's
There he
Teddy's there,
is.
just not in the matchday squad.
Same as Letitia, Jason Wilcox, Steve Howie, who I didn't even realise was in the Euro 96 squad, but he was. Um, oh, Sex Dungeon. Um, yes, I wasn't. I had actually forgotten about the that bit there. You're absolutely right. Anyway, what was he? Mark Havenhand, is it? Joined us for this. Not
Yeah,
actually
good
sure,
evening.
not actually sure who this is. So if it's a new viewer, brilliant. Welcome. Always welcome to come and join and see the bizarre stuff we have in this league where clones are allowed. So more than one team can have the same player. Predictions for this one?
We've got a very defensive lineup against very attacking, so I think that there will be goals in this one. I'm going to go 3-2 Calaveras.
If Calaveras score three, that would be, I think Loz Hughes would be absolutely delighted with the way that his team didn't score in the league last season very much.
That's a new season.
New season, new team, new aims. Yes, see how he didn't make the Newcastle team there. South Americans to win 4-1 and Josh going 1-0. David going 2-2. Anyway, let's see how this one goes. From the Estadio de los Diablos, it's 1-0, but it's disallowed. It was Paul Ince who scored the opening goal but didn't. Yes, it's been weird having the Estadio de los Diablos, but then being skiing in Norway. Rick Kelme has the opening goal. Great start for this team here.
Yeah, and Riquelme. Riquelme is an old favourite for these two leagues, isn't he? Really.
Clothes are allowed. I didn't think I'd said clones are allowed. I thought I said clothes, making me wonder what I do in the other streams. So yeah, the Super League, you're not allowed to wear anything below the waist. That's the rule there.
Well, it is the Australian Super League, isn't it? So yeah, that's fair enough.
Fifey introduced that rule just in his chairmanship. It was a condition of taking the job. 1-0 at half time to Calaveras with their only shot on target. And I know that Paul Ince's shot on target that went in and didn't count is not a shot at all. So, yeah, definitely Falaraki have been testing their opponents.
Yeah, can't disagree. It's been low on chances overall, but yeah, obviously Calaveras, Riquelme is a quality player, so he's scored not an awful lot of passing going on either. So it's been quite a duo game so far. But with the sort of mix and matches of the lineups, fingers crossed for the second half that we'll get more action.
we should get more action indeed. Double figures on viewers is always good to know when we can get to that. But, is it Richard Osman on commentary? Well, if he's Richard Osman, then I am pointless. But
well, no, you're the Dougie narrator, surely.
The Dougie narrator, is that the voice that?
That's Armstrong, isn't it? Alexander
Oh,
Armstrong.
I was going to say, I was thinking who does the voice of Hey Dougie, and then realised, yeah. Do I actually have a sound alike generally? That's the question I'm going to ask. Hopefully not for anybody else. George from Rainbow could be George, yeah.
Anyway, back to the game. Yes, Sol Campbell's defended well for Faliraki.
Tony Adams hasn't.
No, not at all. But then it is the Faliraki 96. I mean, he wasn't quite reformed in 96, was he, Tone?
No impressions tonight. Enough bad Alexander's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Oh, yes. Tony Adams still looking fairly useful there. And that Tony Adams has 9 for pace. So, anyway, subs at half-time. Neither manager's on stream. And if they've made subs, they're always 60 minutes. We know what they're about. So, let's get forward into that time. And really, the chances for Faliraki coming through the steam at McManaman got himself lectured after getting booked there. In very quick concession.
Yeah.
Quick concession would be really strange, wouldn't it? And let's have a little look at this. Just making sure that I do check on my little girl before too long. So if I'm pretty sure we'll be okay till end of the stream. Anyway, so Calaveras, let's just check what has happened. But Danielson's got to be coming off, doesn't he, really?
Yeah, he looks to have an injury, doesn't he?
Yeah, so I'll just go to Loz's instructions. He said Veron for either Emerson or Riquelme, but I think it has to be for...
Riquelme, in my experience, might have an injury, because normally he's got good fitness.
He does. That's a good spot, because I wouldn't have said necessarily 85. That would have been an issue. So Veron will come on there. And the other sub, looking at this now, I think... I've missed the squad numbers for this team, and I do apologise. It says you should have the squad numbers on the post. Dear me, that's bad management from me here, isn't it? Anyway, so I mean, probably best to Zeriberto for Danielson and to forego the substitution of Jardel.
I mean, big kids in agreement. I think that's what I would do as well. I think, if Danielson's got an injury, then it's not going to work for him.
And Zeriberto is Zeriberto. So why not? Champignon substitutes here. Fixed sub, Redknapp for Gaza on 60. Oh, let's actually do that then. Redknapp for Zaga. And if losing, Barmby on for the worst out of Neville and Steve McManaman. McManaman's on a 5. And he's on a yellow.
As well.
And he could have been in bigger trouble. So, there we go. Let's get back on with this. In fact, he was saying, Champignon, that basically every time he played against these, he was getting destroyed in testing. 2 5-0s and a 6-2. So I think he'll take this result.
This is an improvement, of course.
Zeriberto to get a red from Dan Hazard. Coming forward, Jardel's put it just over the bar. Phil Neville getting involved. Late chance, maybe. Oh, Emerson took back David Batty. Late attacks all the way here from Faliraki. But they've held out. Calaveras, that is a strong defensive performance.
That was backs to the wall at the end there.
Well, well done. I mean, Faliraki actually, probably looked the better team attacking, as we said in the first half. But that's brilliant from Calaveras to come away with a clean sheet against a team that they weren't set up for necessarily attack, but they've done a decent job.
Indeed, yeah. I think Simeone deserves his man of the match. He looks to have sort of done Simeone things.
Yes.
And Walter Samuel, 9 out of 9 tackles, plenty of passes completed, won all
Walter
his headers.
Samuel
So,
is
yeah,
like that, isn't he? He can just put in amazing amounts of
unless he
tackles.
gets sent off, you can normally rely on him to do the business.
Josh saying he's back-to-back correct scores, but couldn't win his own games. Banter club. David Batty, lots and lots of tackles. Steve McManaman disappointing, and Dennis Wise coming out with a bit of credit from that game. So well done to Calaveras. He had 2 matches left, is it? Yeah, 2 matches left. Imaginary Madrid, who remain. They've made 4 changes to the squad from last season, including Cafu, Mexay. Who are the others? Totti and Ferguson, I think, is it that's joined this team?
Okay, yeah. So they were in Division 1 last year, weren't they? But
Should have been relegated,
top
but
three?
yeah, they were 12th last season, but have been given a reprieve.
Okay, yeah. From the was the Division 2 team last year that had Marchant doing his whole pitch
Oh,
run.
for the Oties.
The OTs, yeah, indeed. There's elements of that going on, I think. But to be fair, other than that, I mean, it's a very strong overall team. I just worry about the lack of sort of full time centre halves. To be fair,
None. Yeah, interesting to have deployed Mexay in the sweeper role. He cannot play centre back, so why not play him as just a sweeper? It'll be great to see what he can do here. And we now move over to Norsk Trafford, who have made absolutely all their squad change. 25 players for the champions have switched over for 25 Norwegians, who I will learn to pronounce as well as possible over the course of the season.
well, yes, I haven't even started as the ones I do. I mean, obviously Thomas Muir in goal, we know from his Everton days. Torrent Flo and John Carew, excellent strike partnership. Flo is fantastic on the game when I've had him because he's generally cheap and for an old guy actually reasonably effective for a lower league side. And of course, then there's Magna Hoseth, who's a bit of a myth, isn't he?
He was very good in certain games, and actually he was very good on about FIFA 11 or something like that. I think I quite liked him on that game.
I mean,
yeah,
it is
Thomas
a good back
Muir
four actually as well. It's a good back five to be fair. I like Reece at left back.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always called him Hoyland, but I may well be wrong. Maybe like Hoyland or something. Who knows? I will get it right because especially if Daddy watches any of the streams, he does look a very strong version.
His numbers are in the right place.
Yeah. Oh, certainly ready to go. Eric Mickland, who I noticed he once when it was drunk one night and started asking everybody in sight to arm wrestle him. So why not see what he can do in the middle of midfield there? Let's get going in predictions for this one of our final 2 games with Henning Olsen refereeing.
I'm going to be leaning on the Madrid side, I think, for this one. 3-1.
Huge credit to Dadji after last season for winning the league with potentially the strongest possible team you could put together this season.
Absolutely, and I think even now, I mean, what's he aiming for? 7th, he says.
Yeah,
I think he can do better than that. I think he's been a bit modest.
I think I don't know. Sometimes you look at it and think bottom 3, and then other times you look at it and think, hang on, they've got a chance here. So I mean, 7th would be pretty good, pretty solid for this team. Anyway, from the Theatre of Daydreams, it starts off with John Carew, who notice I've got rid of the Aliu bit from his name, and Dadji was happy for me to do that, saying he never heard him really called that for any length of time. So yes, he's had a chance, and Kesman with chance. I mean, Thomas Muir, I think, if I'm not wrong, has very, very low professionalism. I think he does. I'm sure I've seen something about him having really low professionalism. Eric Mickland, and his Hosets.
I mean,
The
Muir with a
9.
9, and then the goal.
And Hosett
So
scores the opening goal, and Trafford. This is absolutely superb for them. Um,
they've
Imagine when
been
you
they've been holding
dream.
their own in this half, though.
Yeah, it's very solid. But imagine when you don't look too weak. And Jordi Cruyff has scored the equaliser. Jordi, almost the figure of ridicule apart from Calvo Garcia
Well, I
last
mean,
season.
actually, a player that could have featured in Daggy's team last season.
Wow, look at how they're doing here. It's the myth. The myth. Jose the myth, and then Jordi Cruyff. I mean, what scorers we've got there. Wonderful first half.
And I love that the game won't even call him Cruyff on the actual page here as well. I mean, they know the drill.
11 shots, 10 on target, and Thomas Muir has had a superb first half.
That's by far the most shots we've seen from a single half, I think, on this match day. I mean, 21's pretty
21
decent.
attempts on goal from this. Imagine Madrid, their subs, as ever, no plans. So unless if anyone drops below 70 or below, I will switch them. But otherwise, there are no plans as it
I'm not sure
started.
what Kesman's up to. He's had 5 shots on target.
Oh yeah, he's really going for it. But one of them was a very good save. I noticed. Come through Henningberg, 2 tackles, 1 out of 7. But they're holding on. The figures for the viewers are going back up again at the moment.
Yeah, and
They must be.
Thomas Muir has had a really good game.
Yes.
Plenty of saves, plenty of things going on for his 9. So yeah, well deserved.
And Dudgy has sent me, as ever, a wonderful little image that he puts his subs together on. So let's see what he's got for today. Can you see that, Jim, on your screen? Can you see that?
I can see there's a screen. That's about all I can see, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very comprehensive.
Apologies.
5 or lower and under 85%. No changes there at halftime then, so we'll push
Yeah,
on.
no, that's fair enough for
With
now.
this, Kesman has hit the bar, so he's not content to stop shooting, is he? He's just going to keep going with this. Free kick, holds it with a chance there. Forward again for Imagine Madrid. Kesman again, another save. I think Muklan's had
And
a
it'd
chance
be
as well.
interesting to see how many shots he can have without scoring.
He's missed the target again. I'm really impressed with this match, to be honest. I think this is an extremely fun one all
This is the
drawn.
most open match that we've had so far, but still only the 2 goals.
One of the most open matches probably in Swemp history as well. So let's have a look, see if any fitness things have happened. 60 minutes, sub 5 or lower, but bring on Everson and Lunda Arsheim if possible. So, well, it is possible.
Could be Seth potentially for fitness reasons.
Playing in 4 days is a factor, isn't it? Really, I think they might maybe
injury.
to preserve him. He's a centre mid, so Arsheim is probably going to be the change here, I suppose. I think, taking off Jose will probably be the one to preserve him for next time out. And striker-wise, I'm just going to go and check and see which striker hasn't been performing as well. Flo's missed all his chances, so he should come off and Stefan Everson to come on. There we are. So 2 changes. And how will they work out? Well, straight away, Lunda Arsheim's put one just off target. I wonder what Kesman's going to be looking like at the end of this game. If he hasn't had double figure shots by the end of this game, I'll be surprised, but he has gone a bit quiet. He's definitely gone quiet as Eric Mukland has scored. No. Yes. And I wonder what his celebration will be with his lovely rock and roll hairstyle as well. So I remember him playing in the World Cups and just thought, yes, that's a quality hairstyle that he's got. 2-1 still, close to the end. Henningberg's taking a yellow card. Smerty, it was for Imaginary before. Cudicini makes a good save. And what a match that has been. Every single player on the pitch is 7 or above, and deservedly so.
Goalkeeper man of the match, and they've smashed it. I mean,
Hmm.
32 shots. So still, what we won 21 when we first half, so another 15 in the second half.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a fantastic game of football.
Well, very interesting. Kesmit with 9 shots, 6 on target, finished with an 8, but no goals to speak of. Unfortunate for Imagine Madrid, who got to take some heart from that performance and say that they're much more competitive than last season.
I
Yeah,
don't think they'll be too disappointed with that because they've created plenty. It's just a case of they've come across an informed goalkeeper and a bit of a smash, not a smash and grab, but certainly an efficient forward line.
very efficient in terms of the midfield getting the goals with their things. But yeah, Flo didn't have a shot on target, and Everson didn't have a shot. But we have very, very well done. Daji starts off the season with a great win, and David's very impressed with that. And I think we all can be actually. That is a good one. On to our final match of the night, and I am going to just go into a request here that I've been sent that the Matt Lucas, manager of Real E, forgot to send his team instructions in. But seeing as he's playing against you, can they be put on?
Yeah, of course. If you want to put them on, I'll get myself a glass of whiskey. So that times in quite nicely, doesn't it?
So we'll put the team instructions in, which now everyone can see what his team instructions are. But they are into the league here, so it's just quite straightforward for that. A glass of whiskey is a very nice choice to go into this game from. So yeah, to have a look, really made some transfers, just a few transfers from their squad that were good last season. We've got Alan Masoudi, who I believe is quite possibly, unless he is another one, Alan Masoudi Ekakanga. Is he exactly the same player? I'm not entirely sure. Someone might be able to confirm for me whether there is an Alan Masoudi and an Alan Masoudi Ekakanga both in the game for any other reason. So he's in the squad now. We've got Neil Somerville has come into this team and he's a sub. Adolfo comes in and starts the match for today. And the fourth change to the squad, I think it's Taribo West coming in. I don't think Taribo West was at Real E last season.
I don't think so. I think because when Matt was playing, cause he had his wacky sort of right backs into centre, didn't he?
Yeah,
I
he
think
would
with
have played
West
Taribo
features,
West
he'd
in
have been
there,
a more
wouldn't he?
natural fit for those, wouldn't he, last season?
Yes, yeah, that's a very good way of looking at it. Actually, that I didn't even think of that. But yeah, so Somerville, Adolfo, Masoudi. Who I don't know if you heard me talking about Masoudi and the possibility is he and Ala Masoudi Ekakanga, is it the same person?
Looking at the stats, I'll be inclined to agree because like of the
Same
stats that he does have,
position.
they're important in terms of just being bloody fast. I think more than anything.
So is there a mixer? Mike's asking for you on there.
Oh, with the whiskey,
Yeah,
no, I neither had the time nor the inclination to get a mixer, so it's just straight up
Vimto.
bourbon. In case you're asking,
Oh, very nice. Any in particular brand?
it's just bullet on this occasion because it was the bottle I got to the quickest.
At it, going at it like a bullet there. So, yeah, a team full of current managers.
Indeed, yeah. As I tweeted, it'll be interesting to see how many of these are in position. Well, actually, I think they all are now, as of right now. But certainly, I think once we get to Christmas, I imagine at least 3 or 4 of these will have been fired in real life.
I mean, is that why you haven't picked Arteta?
Um, Arteta's rubbish in the game.
Yeah, he's not
He
particularly
was,
strong.
yeah, he's and also I think I'm quite stocked for DMCs. I think he's a DMC on most
Yeah,
saves actually.
yeah.
So
I think he is more of an attacking mid, but he can play defensive mid, so qualifies as a DMC. So let's have a look at this. So Big Kid loves the transfers of Real E, and he's on rum and apple juice. Very nice. And I
no, good
am
choice.
I'm on lemonade that's finished. Uh, yeah, I mean players we haven't seen so far. Jocelyn Governek. in there. I mean, he's got some decent attributes about him.
Yeah, I was struggling for attacking players. It was a bit of a godsend when I learned that Harry Kewell had taken over at Barnet. To be fair, and yeah, Batles again pretty bang average, but I just needed players that could play either out wide or certainly play in a more advanced role, just to link midfield to attack really.
Laurent Battlers as well. Yes, he's a player at. I couldn't really. Was he at Lorient or something like that in his career? I think as a player, somebody
He
like
was
that.
certainly in France in his career, yeah. I actually forget off the top of my head who he's the manager of, but I was very much Wikipedia's friend in constructing this squad. That's for sure. I mean, I never knew that Willy Sagnol was the Georgia manager. That's for sure.
No, I had to look it up to see who he was in charge of, and yeah, pleasant surprise there. Um, Mike on Kraken Roman Appletizer, Crappletizer.
I like that.
Yes, Morgan Spiced and Fanta Orange from Big Noopy, and for me, my choice would be I think Bell's and Iron Brew for an Iron Bells. It'd be a horrendously good drink. Anyway, yeah. So you ain't no hollaback girl.
And yeah, I mean, I was thinking of ways to sort of get Gwen Stefani references in with Burned Hollaback, but you've beaten me to it, and you can keep that. I think.
It was awful. It was awful. Oh yes, Fifey's on H20 this evening for his drink, which is always a lovely drink, isn't it? A J2O would be a good one. Although my mum, as Quinton will back me up, used to call them J-Los. Getting them wrong. And David's
I
on.
apologise for the continued use of this kit as well because it doesn't screen very well, does it?
Oh, I like it. It's fine. It's fine. So the only, am I right in thinking Nuno's the only manager in the Premier League with a 100% record at the moment?
I've not looked at the league table to be honest.
Did they
So
win
I've
the
got
other
no
day?
idea.
I think they won. I think they're on a 3 wins out of 3. I might be wrong. They might have drawn one.
No, I don't know. I mean, who's he in charge of? Yeah, no, I'm not interested.
Yes, top up one end and at the bottom the fierce rival. Yeah, it's really hard to read that text, isn't it? But I like the kit. Oh, it's Simeone disallowed.
Yeah, the youthful Diego Simeone.
Adolfo is coming off now. I do know that Neil Somerville, I almost called him Neil Sullivan then, is the backup here. First of all, he was going to be coming on up front for somebody at 60 minutes. So he's going to come on now. And it's switched over to the other manager. So let's.
Yeah, I do.
And Simeone, in his youthful exuberance, has gone.
Of course, it's happened. I don't want to make any personnel changes, but can I please have Vieira into the centre?
Sean Dyche should have been coming on there.
Yeah, and then Kewell and Luis Enrique dropped back, but with arrows for all 3 midfielders, please, just to sort of make it more of a sort of traditional 4-1-3-2.
4-1-3-1, yeah. Like that, or Bowyer as well.
Give it to Bowyer as well, yeah, please, if that's okay. Then it's sort of that's kind of more like what my traditional formation has been last season.
It's, yeah, just keep it like that.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's not ideal, but yeah, we'll go for that.
There's lots of talk about drinks here, and then Big Kid says Neil Somerville is a favourite of mine. I was thinking, what cocktail's that? I'd love to have one of those.
You call him Jimmy last year, don't you?
Jimmy, yeah, especially now that Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is a sub just above him as well. Yes, and who's? I mean, if Jimmy comes on, then what will happen in the battle between Hollaback and Hasselbank? Somerville disallowed with the opening goal. Well, it's an interesting first half. A very interesting first half.
Yeah, but ill discipline from my players, unfortunately. But let's see what it's been reasonably even. Disallowed goal for each side. Both hitting the target reasonably well. But I think going into the second half, I think really must be favourites because we're a man light.
And man, it's really not a good day for the Simeones. Was one of the Simeones a man of the match? I can't remember.
In one of the games he was, I think, yeah, he got a
But in
9, I
the
believe. I
others,
can't remember who
not so
for.
good. Yeah, I can't remember. So was it the first match? Maybe the very first game. Rum, tequila, vodka, triple sec, mango juice. That's cool. That is the Neil Somerville cocktail.
That's a fair amount of booze on the go there.
I used to have just as a soft drink, Coke with lime cordial in it, and I called it Jeffrey Clay's after the player who was I'm trying to think where he was at the time. Was he at Anderlecht or so? I just decided to call it a Jeffrey Clay's, as you do.
Fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely no reason for it. Really, will be keeping themselves as they are at this point. But what about for you?
Um, Fitness wise, we're fine. The formation, I'm as happy as I can be with it. So I'm happy to carry on till 60 at the very least.
And well, you hope that your players survive to 60, of course. This it's a close one. It's a very close one. We can't be ending.
Yeah, it's tightened up a little bit.
It's
And
Somerville.
he said that, and of course, yeah, Somerville, one of the players that I feared. I generally sort of, so
Fearing
you
him.
Adolfo's, your Masudi Kakangas, and the Somervilles. I do fear those players rather than the more established ones.
Well, we are going to be losing Beckham or Veron at this point. Looking at their ratings, 7 and 6 for Veron. Is either of them injured? If Beckham's injured, yeah, well, the groin gives way for Kieran Dyer, and that's the change there. We will be having Matt on commentary at some point in the next few weeks as well. And let's have a look at your team then. So ratings wise, Hollaback and Kewell are on 6s. Everyone else is doing okay.
Okay, I think with that in mind, with Kewell on his 6, if I can swap him out for Ole, please, because he's a forward left centre, so he can do the job there if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, to be fair, that'll do it.
Let's see, the last half hour on this, the earliest subs in a second half so far for this season, 59 minutes. I couldn't quite get it right. Chances, and Viduka having a chance there, but there was some pressure on him at that point. He couldn't do what he did earlier on today. It seems so long ago that the Team GB match was on. So long ago.
There has been a lot going on, hasn't there, this evening?
A lot, yeah. I'm gonna, obviously, hope my daughter is fine, but yeah, it's just kind of just a bit stuffed up in her sleep. And he said late chance. Roundhay tried to get back in, but could not do it. Patrick Vieira,
nearly, but not quite. I think, the red card, I think, was pretty key in this game. To be fair, I think other than that, it was pretty even and could have gone either way.
And look at Solskjaer coming on, making an impact there.
Well, there we are. I mean, people do doubt him, don't they? But he is he's a sub, isn't he? So if he's come on as a sub, he's gonna play well.
That's his role. Yeah, there's a special sub attribute.
Yeah, I mean the tail of the stats there is pretty even. I don't think we created too many clear cut chances, but I think the red card was quite important.
Yeah, pivotal in the outcome. I think Patrick Vieira winning 10 headers. That's something.
So really, so Vieira against Vieira.
Yeah, 6 headers. Yes, so the most headers in both teams, and yeah, I think this positives you can take from that. But the strikers, your forward man Crespo just was a little bit isolated, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I think so. He didn't do an awful lot, and there's plenty we can take from that. But onto our next game. But yeah, no credit to Really there. They've ground it out. So yeah, good stuff.
And Mr. Andrew Allen, Big Nippy, is on his way for tonight. thank you very much for coming, of course. And next round for Division 1 is next Thursday. Next round for Division 2 is their league season getting underway Monday night. So let's have a look through these. Dalgety Rangers, it was scoring 4 goals and going top of the league. Clean sheets as well for Trumpton, for Really, and for Loco Calaveras, who we see in the no draws tonight.
Yeah, and not too many high-scoring games outside of sort of those two. Yeah, quite tight really. But no, it's interesting to sort of get the first game, or certainly the first 2 games out of the way, just to see where sides are at. Really, to be fair.
Yeah, I think game 1 is a little bit tricky to just make a decision there. No team of the week on game 1. You'd expect there to be. Fixtures for next time, as Fifey says, bring on Division 2. It'd be nice to play it tonight, but I'm going to be getting myself having a look at Pro Evo 4 on the PS2. That's what I'm doing tonight after this, I think. Next time out then, Allenson FC versus Team GB. Aston Ajax versus OAB, so 2 new managers up against each other there. Dalgety Rangers and Loco Calaveras, 2 teams who started pretty well today, both with clean sheets. Falaraki Tyneside, I think so. England versus Newcastle. North Trafford versus Really. North Trafford probably, to me, I mean, obviously we saw how good Dalgety Rangers were on the attack, but North Trafford were probably my favourite side to watch.
Yeah, I think, because their sort of away performance and that sort of backs to the wall at the end, I think, they're really entertaining. The good thing about this is every fixture, although it's only the second game of the season, looks really interesting. There's no one that you think one team is definitely going to beat the other, because a lot of the teams are so new. I think there's a lot of interest going into certainly maybe even the first 5 games until we've got a real feel of where people are at.
This is the advantage to kind of seeding the divisions a little bit. There shouldn't be any easy games. I think it should be competitive all the way through, and that's something that we maybe lacked at times last season with the random draw for the divisions. But it made it fun, but this time around, teams are not going to take absolute pastings, I don't think.
No, absolutely, and I know that I was one of the sides to benefit from the reseeding. But I think we'll have a lot more sort of genuine competition, and certainly, I don't think we'll see a team with Did the Flamingos concede 100? I think they did, didn't they, last season?
103, I think, at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, we won't be seeing that this season, I don't think, will we?
No, imagine the West Country Flamingos did that. That's going to be extremely unlikely. Emerson top scorer with a 10, with 2, and nobody got a 10 in any of the matches there. So apparently some of the refs have done 4 games, 3 games. I don't know how, because it's the first round of the season, but brilliant. Good to know that. I'm going to make sure this game save is saved at this point. I will kick it on to the next part and have that out in within 24 hours, and managers have until 9 p.m. on Wednesday next week to get their selections in. Jim, thank you very much for that, and thank you for holding the fort while I was unavailable.
No, absolute pleasure. It's it's good to be back, and good to have the seasons up and running again, and look forward to what's to come. Thank you very much.
That's all right, and with you having a few Thursdays free over the course of the season, we'll look forward to having you on again.
Absolutely.
Thanks to everyone for joining in the chat, and we will see you Monday night. But don't forget, of course, Super League Sunday night. Make sure you're watching the Super League, which is, of course, this is the equivalent of different codes of rugby, isn't it? Really, you can't compare the 2 leagues in any way because one's serious and this one's an absolute joke. Anyway, good night.
Take care.